I played Battlefield 5, so you don't have to. Were you just twisting and turning in your seat, secreting money to get your hands on this half-cocked game? Wait. Cock. Men. Males. Now, if you had half a brain, you knew this social justice political train wreck was going to be utter shit. That twisting and turning in your stomach was very quickly proven correct, as EA themselves stared into the abyss that was the impending release of Battlefield 5. I don't like to milk several videos talking about every mishap leading up to a game's release and subsequently after. However, I also like my games to be released in full, so with the new final campaign mission being added to Battlefield, I feel somewhat okay calling it a finished game. So I played it. Boy, I wish I hadn't. Upon the very first mission, historical inaccuracies are abundant. Playing fast and loose with some aspects of history are fine, as long as you present it as such. But when you market your game as a special take of World War II that tells stories that have not been told before, and every aspect of the gameplay is implemented specifically to make your game seem more and more authentic, from the quotes after death to the solemn, sad method the storytellers use to tell their stories. In one case, the host of your mission literally says, "You won't find this in the history books." In one campaign, your host is literally telling you, "You won't find this in the history books." Well, sadly that's true, although that's true, not for the reason they're presenting it as. In fact, you'll find most of these stories lodged in the fiction section between the Diary of Anne Frank and the Bible. Mission 1. Operation Conscript Untrained Prisoners into the Special Forces, because that's what happened, isn't it? Not the true story of the hand-picked dozen or so British commandos who were sent against the odds on raiding missions, their entire conception of which relied on a gamble that could have got the creator of the SBS arrested and thrown in prison. Instead, here's a quasi-open map with a boring protagonist and a small character arc where the single highlight in this campaign is when your mentor starts singing while you're being attacked relentlessly by the Germans. Mission 2, Operation Gunaside. Oh, what? Sorry, I mean Operation Stand the Fuck Aside history, strong independent minority woman coming through. In this mission you rewrite history, stealing the story from the few dozen allied soldiers that died during the undertaking of this mission, many executed by the Germans through Hitler's personal order, and the struggle of the Norwegian commandos and their pledge to minimize civilian casualties using non-conventional methods. If you want a real true telling of these events, just check out Heroes of Telemark, a film which was made with the real survivors in mind. Hell, some of them helped make it. Mission 4. Operation Kangs and shit. I don't mean that in a racist way, but in a, do the writers understand the meme they're making? I'm not going to spend that long on this, because it never happened. Literally, the whole point of this campaign, claiming the French airbrush blacks out of victory pictures where there's literally no evidence for this. Or, is that what they want you to think? Mission 4. Operation Christmas Release. Originally cut from the game to meet deadlines, they missed a fucking great opportunity to actually tell an interesting story from the German side of the war, show you what it was actually like to be a German soldier in World War II. Instead, we get the shortest mission set yet. I must admit this is the best mission. At face value, it doesn't seem like it's trying to push a big agenda. It's a genuinely interesting story with some good character development. All of the others I would just say skip. They don't even have an interesting gimmick that makes you want to go back to playing them. But this one does. Now, I personally can't say if there's historical inaccuracies that lie within this campaign. I'm sure there are. But hey, what can I say? Shooting down the Americans with a buzzsaw just reminded me of my granddad. At the end of everything, it's nothing short of offensive. Rewriting history, and the multiplayer is just a reskin of previous Battlefield games like always. Seriously, I cannot understand how DICE and EA have raped history to force their political agenda dick down my throat through their short campaign mode. I've only played this game for 6 hours and I already feel molested. Normally, I'd like to offer my personal opinion on how to fix the game, but in this case, it's so simple it's not even meme-worthy. Just do the stories that your writers are actually ripping off, and don't go warping history. It's that simple. The original stories are so much better, and it's not even funny. What's left to review? Alright, the non-existent Battle Royale mode and the reskinned multiplayer. Online is just following the same trend as every Battlefield before it. Less destruction, less fun, and fixing one bug. I could spend half this video talking about the disappearing guns, broken AI, broken combat, minor historical inaccuracies in combat, but by the end of the day, I could write a review for Battlefield 3 and say the exact same. So if you've played any Battlefield after Bad Company 2, you've played this. Shit! I almost forgot the section on the game that I liked. Oh, right, I like that everyone speaks their native language. That's kind of cool. At the same time, it can defer from you actually paying attention to the gameplay, but I liked it. Plus, I was playing with the UI turned off, so it's quite immersive, even if there are no subtitles. But what I love most about this game, gosh damn love it, getting berated online by the developers, writers and studio executives. Spank my little uneducated intolerant ass, Daddy Sutherland. Final thoughts, I love history games. If it wasn't for games, I would have never have studied history in education. This game is framing itself as fact, but is in fact tainted fiction. I don't just want to see this game do bad, I want to see what this game stood for, fucking destroyed. To put it simply, in the words of Patrick Sutherland, Vice President of EA and former founder of DICE, don't buy this game. Finally, I want to give a quick shout out to American Krogan. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to put this video together. He goes into much more depth than I ever did in the historical inaccuracies, and I highly recommend checking him out. Plus, Krogan's in his name, and y'all know I love me some Mass Effect.